Hey everyone, welcome back to BrowncoatNerd. Today we're going to be looking at the LOK Grips gun stand. Now the one I have here is just the kind of basic black one. It's what they call the Armor Black, and this does run about $120. Now that includes the stand and then one magazine insert of your choice. LOK Grips does have a pretty wide variety on different mag inserts to get. So you get one with the stand. And then if you want to get additional ones, which you probably will, those run $20 a piece. They do have this available in a couple different finishes. The cheapest ones are $85 to $95, and those are just going to be your raw aluminum stands. And they offer them both in polished and what they call tumbled. I imagine that gives it kind of a different effect whenever you paint it or Cerakote, whatever you're going to do with it. But those are the cheapest ones. Then they do offer some of the stands made in their G10 material. It doesn't look like they offer it in all of the colors that they offer with the grips, which is a pretty wide variety. Looks like they just had a few selected specific colors. Now, if you contact them, who knows, maybe if you don't see a color combo on the stand options that they have for the grips, they might be able to do something for you. But the G10 ones, those run $120. Like I said, I think there's like 4 different color options that they were showing. But again, if you don't see the color you're wanting, I'm sure they can do something for you. They also do have a brass stand, as LOK also, not only along with G10 grips, they do make brass and aluminum grips. So that'd be nice if you've got, some brass grips on something and you get a nice brass stand to match it. Those run $200 for the brass stand. And then you do have the option, I've seen some people do videos on these gun stands and they'll have like their own like little YouTube logo or whatever added to it. I'm not sure how much those runs, but that is an option that you can get. And they do offer one with a custom logo on it that says "See Ya Space Cowboy," and it has the outline of the swordfish from the anime Cowboy Bebop, which I think is pretty awesome. This company definitely does seem very like-minded into the stuff that I enjoy. And they also do offer Cowboy Bebop grip panels for your Jericho 941 or even CZ75. So if you got those, that would be an awesome little display stand for you to get to go along with those. And then, like I said, the inserts are $20 a piece. One thing to keep in mind when you're getting inserts, and I'll go into that here in just a little bit, if you're buying an insert, like for example here with my Beretta 92S, that mag insert is going to work for quite a few other guns because the Beretta 92 has a mag that's very similar to many other magazines. So you can probably get away with using this insert for several other guns. Now, you might wonder, why would you want a gun stand in the first place? And that is a very valid question. I've seen these offered like on eBay and stuff. Real cheap 3D printed type stands. Some of them look decent. You'll see some that are wood, and the wood ones, the plastic ones are typically pretty cheap. The wood ones I've seen vary quite a bit in price, obviously, depending on how much detail and stuff you want on that. With those, for the most part, even the more expensive ones, they tend to kind of look cheap. Some of the nice wood ones actually look really nice. I take that back about the wood ones. But a lot of the plastic ones, they just kind of look rinky-dinky. And granted, you are paying rinky-dinky prices for it for the most part too, so that's not too bad. But the other thing is you're going to have to get one of those stands for, a variety of guns for you to, if you want to use it on. Whereas with this one, even though the stand is a little bit pricier, it's definitely really good quality. It's going to look good with any gun. You have the inserts that you can just change out instead of having a whole new stand, which I do really enjoy. Now, I've seen some people do videos on these, and they talk about how the stand comes in handy if you're working on your gun, or if you have like a red dot on your gun. You guys, if you know my channel, you know I don't have any red dots. It's mostly surplus on this channel. The most advanced sights I have are like Teridium sights on my Glock. That's about as high tech as I've gotten. So I can't really speak to that. As far as like working on a handgun using this stand, I honestly don't see myself doing it. Now, like I said, if I had a red dot or something on there, then maybe I would. They do have inserts for, well, I was going to say for rifles. I know at least for the AR-15. And like using this to work on a rifle, that seems a lot more plausible for me. But at the same time, honestly, I'm probably not going to use it extensively for that. So why did I get this? Well, once again, if you're like-minded like me, if you get a new gun, or you change out grips on your gun like I did with this 92S. These are the LOK grips, by the way, the standard checkered camo pattern. It's hard to put it up. You kind of have to let that new gun air out a little bit, or let those new grips get a little sunlight on them before you just put them back in your safe. So I find myself very much enjoying the stand for that purpose. For example, when I first got these grips in my 92S, we've got a little limestone fireplace with, the limestone mantle. Put it up on there. My wife puts up with it. Every couple days, it might rotate out with something else. And I've had friends come over and stuff, and they're always like, they think it's pretty cool, and are fairly impressed with it. Now, the design of this, like I said, this is aluminum. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I have a really wonky setup here that I'm not ever normally using this spot or this setup. Okay, how horribly. Okay. So as you can see, the inserts, they are 3D printed. Nothing fancy there. They do have magazine catches. However, this one, it being a 92S, they did not bother to put the mag catch down there. So typically, your gun will lock into place with these stands. Once again, not that that's really needed, but it's something that typically works out. I have a 92S. I got the weird stuff. I know. So it doesn't work with that. But we do have this nice aluminum stand here. We're a little dusty, because I have had this for a while. You do get little rubber feet that come on the bottom there. And as you can see, or maybe not, there are just a few minor nicks and dings just on the bottom. And like I said, that's from being on the limestone mantle. The wife may have dragged this across there a few times. But I mean, it's held up well. The rubber feet are holding up. And I will say that whenever you get a new insert, it does appear that they always come with a new set of rubber feet. So if yours are getting worn out for whatever reason, it's an easy fix. But like I was saying, I got the 92 mag here. So this will work on guns other than just the 92. Works wonderfully on this SIG P226. And this is another great example. Kind of forgot this was in the back of my gun safe. Actually, it wasn't even my gun safe. It was in my nightstand safe that I haven't gotten into for a while. Changed out the grips on this to these E2 grips that I recently did. And once again, it just sat up on the mantle. Me admiring it. Couldn't help myself. And that's kind of when I realized I was like, yeah, this stand's definitely worth it. So, yeah, we'll see a video on this guy. I've kind of forgotten about this SIG, took it out shooting, forgot how much I loved it, so you can expect to see a SIG upgrade series like I did on the Glock 43, so a little sneak peek for you guys there. This one almost locks in, but doesn't quite. As you can see, it's still a pretty firm grip on there. And this guy, with having that mag catch down at the bottom, it stays pretty snug on this guy too. You can see it. If I keep shaking, yeah, it will come out, but I don't expect to be doing that a whole bunch with this gun stand. So, let me move these guys out of the way. To change out this insert, it is very simple. One, they do mark all the inserts with what gun they are for, so you can keep track of them, and of course they all come with an Allen tool, and you just have this one screw here, which I will now loosen up. You also have two little kind of steel dowel pins that help guide the insert on there and keep the insert lined up. I'll show you that here in just a moment. Once I get this screw out, And I think I forgot to turn the air conditioner down once I got home from work. So I just noticed I am sweating like a stuck pig. Alright. So we got that screw out. How can I do this without knocking over the camera? So I'll just pull up on this. You can see we have these two little steel, I'll call them dowel pins. One stayed in the insert, one stayed in the mag. So I will pull that guy out of there. Put him back in the stand. And then we will grab our other insert. Ooh, almost put it on backwards, but it overlapped the stand, so that obviously was not the right direction. Tighten down our Allen screw. So, and also in full disclosure, some of my subscribers may know I've had several videos on these LOK grips. The first set I did purchase. The other two sets, including this stand, were sent to me by LOK Grips for testing and evaluation. So while I am not paid to do this review, I did get these products from LOK for free for review. But LOK gave me no rules other than if I have an issue with something, just simply let them know, give them a chance to fix it. No big surprise, I haven't had an issue with anything. So we got the AR mag insert on there now. Let me do this nut. Okay, yeah, I am putting that in the right way. I'll show you guys. Just so you know there's no trickery. And there we go. There is our almost in frame T91. Big surprise, they did the same thing with this for a while. This looks beautiful above the fireplace. So, like I said, I should have checked before I got on here, guys. I do apologize. I'm not sure if they have inserts for like AKs and stuff like that. But they do have them for the AR. And I jumped on that once I discovered it. Not just because I love my T91, but for another gun, or rather several guns in my collection. And if you watch my channel, you know exactly where this is going. Let me get this girl out. And that would be, oh, this is a heavy gun. Oh yeah. You can't even see that. But this stand will work on the Set Me L. It's not perfectly level on the Set Me L. You notice the front's kind of tipped down a little bit. The angle of the camera, I'm going to say, makes it look a little bit worse than what it is in real life. For me being on display, this is extremely doable. And once again, I did the same thing with the Set Me here. Let's see if I can raise you guys up a little bit. I'm going to mess everything up doing this. Mic's going to come unplugged or something. There we go. So this is the perfect stand for the Set Me L. I'm probably going to go ahead and buy one of these stands in the plain aluminum and send it off someplace, maybe even to Markmar. I don't know if they'll do that for me. But I want to have this stand Cerakoted in the Spanish OD green that the Set Me Ls are painted in. So I think that will look absolutely beautiful. One thing on these mags, it would be kind of cool if LOK could do some kind of magazine cover that goes over this 3D printed insert. Because unfortunately, especially on guns like this where a lot of the mag's exposed, it's not, the insert itself is not the prettiest thing. Not a whole lot could do with it. I was wondering if somehow they made the insert a little bit thinner and put over like a sleeve, like a Stenag mag, you know, aluminum top half of the mag. And some kind of incorporated that in there. So instead of just seeing 3D printed plastic, you know, you'd see the aluminum casing of the magazine, or even maybe do it for like a Magpul as well. Obviously, if they did something like that, these are just 3D printed inserts. You know, they hit a button on a machine, pulls up a file, 3D prints it, no one has to be there to supervise it. You know, they might trim it up a little bit once they pull it out of the machine. So obviously, if they're going to do something like that, like putting on a faux mag cover or something, that would definitely drive up the price substantially. However, for me with something like this, I mean, I'd be willing to pay probably a stupid, well, not too crazy. Like I want to pay over $100 for a bag insert with a cover on it like that, but I would pay more than I'm willing to admit, especially on a gun like that. So I don't know if that's something a LOK Grips would be able to do, if it's something that they've looked into. Like I said, I don't know if it's feasible, where they could still, you know, charge a price that people are willing to pay and make a profit off of it. So you're going to be all of a sudden involving a lot of man hours into that. But I thought that would be kind of cool if they could do something like that. And another sneak peek for my subscribers here, you might be looking at my Set Me LVS with SUSAT scope. Yes, that is the rare SUSAT scope. And if you remember my review of the LVS, you might remember me kind of complaining of how it had the British style SUSAT scope mount rather than the commercial or contract Muller mount scope mount, as we see here. Yes, that is a Muller mount SUSAT. And yes, in my original video, I said I did not think the mounts were interchangeable on the SA80 rail. Obviously, I am incorrect in that. That does fit on. They are interchangeable on the rails. Obviously, I didn't have one in my hands. 60 of them recently got imported. Looks like these are very possibly the only 60 of the Muller mount SUSATs that have been imported, at least thus far. Like I said, this just recently happened. And yes, I got my hands on one. And I love it. We'll get a video comparing those two as well. So, enough of the Set Me SUSAT stuff. The LOK grip stand, I think, is a pretty good deal. Yes, I got this particular one with one of the inserts for free. And like I've said with my reviews on the LOK grips, I think it's awesome they sent it to me for free. I appreciate they sent it to me for free. I would have still bought them. It's a great company. Like I said, they make lots of grips for surplus guns. I'm into surplus guns. They make lots of nerd reference type grips with like G.I. Joe, Cowboy Bebop, Boondock Saints. Sorry, I can't talk. So that's awesome. It's all American made. That's always a bonus. And they do have a pretty wide variety on stuff as well. So, like I said, I do dig this grip stand. The one I have here, like I said, would run you, where did I write it down? $120. You can also get them in the G10 material for the same price. I not only am going to be getting more inserts, I'm going to be getting more stands. I really like this as a way of displaying it. Obviously, the thing that sucks is, you know, it's kind of short-term display, or depending on how your house is set up and how secure, I guess, each room is, you can get away with maybe leaving it out. But, yeah, unfortunately for me, I got a gun buddy that's coming over. I'll pick something that's cool. It's been the Set Me LVS a whole bunch lately. Set it out, and then it's a nice little conversation piece, and I look like a total hoss because I got this cool oddball gun on a very cool stand. And I am looking forward to, like I said, getting one in the OD green to match this gun. I'm probably going to get the Cowboy Bebop grips for my Jericho 941. Obviously, if I do that, I'm going to get the Cowboy Bebop stand, and that's going to be out on display. I've my Rock Island Industries 1911 that I told you guys about, and I was going to make upgrades, and I have done zero follow-ups on that. I've done a few little things. If you watch me on Instagram, you've seen some pictures of that. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Rumble as well. So, yeah, I think this is a good investment. I'm looking forward to what I can do with these. I really like them. They are, I wouldn't even necessarily say pricey, but the inserts are nice and cheap. That's one thing I really like about this. Now, like I said, you know, certain inserts you can get to double up for other guns. So, yeah, I think it's worth the buy. If these are interesting at all to you, I highly recommend you go over to Lock Grip's website, check them out, see what options they have. And like I said, you can do custom stuff too and get your name put on it or your logo put on it. If your husband or wife is really into guns and they've got, a specific handgun that they've, always wanted and finally have, that one particular gun in their safe that they always drool over, get one of these stands to go along with it, get their name put on it or something like that. Or even if you have a family member that had a favorite gun and they've passed, I think this little stand would be like a really cool little memorial to that, their name and, the years or whatever, or someone that was in the Army, you can, throw in their unit there with or rank and all that stuff. Can you tell I was never in the Army because I don't know the proper nomenclature, but anyhows, yeah, think I'm finally going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. If you're curious about the Lock Grips, I've got several other reviews. I think I've got 3 reviews on the Lock Grips right now. Tons of other channels have reviews on their grips too. Like I said, they've got a very wide variety of different grips and different styles that you can do to your guns. So definitely check them out. If you do like this content, go over and like me on Instagram. You don't have to hear me misspeak and mumble over there. You can just look at the pretty pictures of guns. Also go check me out on Rumble. It's kind of a backup for the YouTube, but I have started putting out kind of little sneak peek and exclusive content on both Instagram and Rumble to kind of encourage you guys to go over there and subscribe, like, and follow as well. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, as always, stay safe and stay shiny.